The crowd roared, flags waved in a sea of red, white, and blue. It was another boisterous rally for former President Donald Trump, a spectacle of political fervor and unyielding support. He was back on the campaign trail, his words igniting the familiar fervor among his supporters. Each sentence met with enthusiastic applause, but this time something was different. There was an undercurrent of unease that hadn't been there before. A palpable tension hung in the air, as if everyone was waiting for something to happen. Trump, ever the showman, played to the crowd, his gestures grand and his voice commanding. His voice boomed through the loudspeakers, each word punctuated by cheers and chants, the crowd hanging on his every word. He was in his element, feeding off the energy of his loyal base. The atmosphere was electric, charged with excitement and anticipation. Then it happened. A sharp crack cut through the cheers, a gunshot. The sound was unmistakable, jarring in its suddenness. The crowd froze, the air thick with confusion and fear. Faces turned pale, eyes wide with shock. For a moment there was only silence. Then pandemonium erupted. People screamed, pushing and shoving in a desperate attempt to flee. The once jubilant rally had descended into chaos. The Secret Service detail, trained for such moments, sprang into action. Their movements were swift and precise as they rushed to shield the former president. The crowd became a sea of panicked faces, a blur of pushing and shoving as people desperately tried to escape the unknown danger. On stage, confusion reigned. Aides and security personnel surrounded Trump, their faces etched with concern and urgency. The former president, seemingly unharmed, was whisked away from the podium and into the safety of a waiting vehicle. The motorcade, sirens blaring, sped away from the scene. The rally grounds resembled a disaster zone. News of the shooting spread like wildfire, racing through social media platforms at an unprecedented speed, and news outlets across the globe. Every major network and publication scrambled to cover the breaking news. The world watched, holding its breath, as details of the incident slowly emerged, each new piece of information adding to the growing tension. The initial reports were chaotic, fragmented, and often contradictory, leaving the public confused and anxious. Was the former president injured? Who was the shooter? What was their motive? These were the burning questions on everyone's mind. These questions, unanswered in the immediate aftermath, fueled a frenzy of speculation and debate. Experts and pundits weighed in, each offering their own theories. Social media platforms became echo chambers of fear, anger, and political posturing. Hashtags trended and opinions clashed in a digital battleground. Reports eventually confirmed that Trump, while visibly shaken, was physically unharmed. This news brought a sigh of relief to many. The bullet, it seemed, had missed its mark, narrowly avoiding a potential tragedy. The emotional impact, both on the former president and the nation, was undeniable. The incident left a scar on the collective psyche, a reminder of the fragility of safety and security. In the days that followed, community vigils were held, and calls for unity echoed across the nation. People came together, hoping to heal and find solace in solidarity. Increased security measures were implemented, and political discourse intensified as the nation grappled with the aftermath of the shocking event. From an undisclosed location, Trump, his voice raspy but firm, addressed the nation. He spoke of the day's events, condemning the violence and calling for unity. "We will not be cowed by violence," he declared, his voice echoing through living rooms across the country. "We will not be silenced by fear. We will stand united, stronger than ever, in the face of this heinous act." His words, a mix of defiance and reassurance, resonated with his supporters. The outpouring of support was immediate and overwhelming. But his words also ignited a firestorm of criticism. Opponents accused him of exploiting the tragedy for political gain. The shooting laid bare the deep fissures that ran through American society. It was a stark reminder of the polarization that had come to define the nation's political discourse. On one side were those who saw the incident as an attack on democracy itself. They pointed fingers at Trump and his allies, accusing them of fostering a climate of fear and division. On the other side were those who saw the shooting as a tragic but isolated incident. They rallied around Trump, offering their unwavering support. The shooting became a mirror reflecting back the deep-seated biases and divisions that plagued the nation. In the hours and days that followed the shooting, a massive investigation was launched. Law enforcement agencies from across the country descended on the scene. The investigation quickly zeroed in on a lone suspect, a man with a history of mental illness and a deep-seated hatred for the former president. His online activity painted a disturbing picture of a troubled individual consumed by conspiracy theories. As the investigation progressed, a clearer picture began to emerge. The shooting was not simply the act of a lone madman, but rather the culmination of a series of failures. The investigation raised troubling questions about mental illness, online radicalization, and firearm availability. The shooting sent shockwaves through the world of VIP protection. The Secret Service faced intense scrutiny. How could an armed individual get so close to a former president? The incident led to a comprehensive review of security protocols. The Secret Service, once considered the gold standard in personal protection, was forced to confront its own limitations. The shooting served as a stark reminder of the challenges of protecting public figures in an open and democratic society. The balance between ensuring safety and preserving freedoms was delicate. The incident sparked a debate about the trade-offs inherent in a free society. The shooting inevitably reignited the perennial debate over gun control in America. Gun control advocates seized on the incident as a tragic example of the need for stricter gun laws. They argued that the easy availability of firearms allowed individuals with dangerous histories to obtain weapons. They called for a ban on assault weapons and universal background checks. Gun rights advocates argued that the shooting was the act of a lone madman. They maintained that the focus should be on addressing mental health issues. The gun control debate, a deeply polarizing issue, once again became a political football. The shooting deepened the existing divisions. The shooting sent shockwaves far beyond America's borders. World leaders expressed their shock and condemnation. The incident served as a grim reminder of the global reach of political violence. The shooting sparked a wave of introspection in many countries. The incident served as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of peace. The shooting highlighted the interconnectedness of the world. What happened in one corner of the globe could have ripple effects far beyond its borders. The incident raised questions about the global perception of American democracy. The shooting left an indelible mark on the American psyche, a scar that would take years, if not decades, to heal. It was a traumatic event, one that shook the nation to its core, leaving communities grappling with grief and a sense of vulnerability. The road to recovery, both for the individuals directly impacted and for the nation as a whole, would be long and arduous. It would require resilience, patience, and a collective effort to rebuild what was lost. For Trump, the shooting was a deeply personal experience. It was a moment that forced him to confront the harsh realities of violence and its far-reaching consequences. While he escaped physical harm, the psychological impact was profound. The weight of the incident lingered, affecting his decisions and outlook on life. The incident served as a stark reminder of his own mortality, a chilling realization that life can change in an instant. The shooting also had a profound impact on his supporters. Many were left shaken and traumatized by the experience, struggling to find a sense of normalcy in the aftermath. Many were left shaken and traumatized by the experience. The emotional toll was immense, and the journey to healing would be a collective one. The incident served as a wake-up call, a reminder of the fragility of peace. It underscored the importance of unity and the need to address the root causes of such violence. The road to recovery would require honest introspection and a commitment to finding common ground. It would demand empathy, understanding, and a willingness to work together for a better future. Years later, the scars of that day remain. The shooting continues to shape the nation's political discourse. The incident serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy. The shooting led to heightened security measures at political events. The incident also had a chilling effect on free speech. The shooting had a lasting impact on the gun control debate. While the incident did not lead to significant legislative changes, it reignited the debate. The shooting forced America to confront its demons and begin the difficult work of healing. The future of American democracy depends on its ability to come together and find common ground.